to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are introducing our brand new die, String of Lights Backdrop. We're also going to be introducing the String of Lights Backdrop's Extra Bulbs add-on, which is just a convenient way to die cut more bulbs at once, and we'll show you how both of these work together. And here is the String of Lights backdrop, and I love this backdrop. It's a standard size of 5.5 by 4.25, so it covers a whole card front with these beautiful string of lights. It also includes both a decorative bulb and a plain bulb that you can layer over those little bulbs to create your own beautiful string of lights. And here is the Extra Bulbs add-on, which is exactly that. It's extra bulbs. So if you wanted to be able to die cut a bunch of bulbs at once, this little add-on is perfect for that. It gives you both the decorative bulb and the plain bulb too. Now here is what it looks like to layer these. There's kind of 3 different ways that you can do it. So we're going to layer the decorative one over the plain one, and that's going to fill in that cute little shine mark, which gives it such a fun detail. Then all you need to do is just add a little bit of liquid glue to the bulb, and then just layer the decorative bulb over top, and you can see just how adorable this is. The other option would be to just take the decorative bulb and layer it right over top of the base, and that will add the color to the shine. So it just kind of depends on what color your base is and what color you want that shine mark to be. Now you can also take that plain bulb and die cut that out of colored cardstock or glitter paper or anything else that might look beautiful and layer that over top as well. You can leave it plain like that, or you could even take out a white gel pen and add a shine mark detail that way. So you can layer the 2 pieces together, the plain bulb and the decorative bulb. You can use the decorative bulb on its own, or you can use the plain bulb on its own. So it really just depends on the look that you're going for on your card. So as we add the lights to this String of Lights backdrop here, we're going to layer all of our bulbs. So we're going to have the plain white bulb underneath this beautiful red cardstock bulb. And then all you need to do is just add your drops of glue and then layer your lights right onto your backdrop. And so that's what we continued to do here in super fast motion, was fill in the rest of the backdrop. And this backdrop is so gorgeous. It's really great as the star of the show, which in the first card in this video, Shari's going to do that, and it is absolutely amazing. And then it's also a really great way to create a cute background for stamped characters. You could have cute little winter birds layering onto those string of lights, or we're going to be using our adorable Frosty family snowman in this. So there's lots of cool ways to use it, and we're going to show you 2 fun ways in this video.
So for my String of Lights backdrop today, I've cut this from some white cardstock, and then I've also cut all of the little bulbs that have the shine mark from some pixie dust glitter cardstock. So I am going to start from white on my project today. I'm going to set these aside for a minute and we'll color these in just a moment. I'm using some of the Yeti paper, which is that white with that gold speckle foil in the background. This is going to be the background behind my string of lights. So I'm just cutting this down to 4.25 by 5.5 so it will fit perfectly behind my die cut backdrop. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to cut a frame out of this beautiful striped paper that has that gold foil stripe as well. So this is how that's going to look, but we need to do some coloring on these strings of lights. And why I did this was because I didn't really have the color of green cardstock that I wanted for this project. So I thought I would show you a great way to kind of customize those colors to the perfect colors for your project. You can always color white cardstock with an alcohol marker really easily to get the look that you want. So I'm starting out with this one color and just coloring all the strings and the little bases of the bulbs. Since I'm starting with white, I don't need to worry about layering that solid bulb underneath my glitter bulbs, so that is one advantage of this method. And I can just work my way around and color them all now this green. I am going to show you how you can add a little bit of shading if you wanted as well to make it not one solid color. Since we're using some markers instead of cardstock, we kind of have this option to blend it just like we do on our images. So I'm just adding a little bit of the darker green in a couple places, and then I'm going to come back with my original green that I started with and kind of blend between where those 2 colors meet so that it looks a little more variegated and not very splotchy. So here are those strings all colored, and I don't need to worry about the sides being messy. That's going to get covered up with that beautiful frame that I cut from the stripe paper. Now for my bulbs, I am coloring these with markers, and I want to give you a tip. Do not go back and forth. You want to dab it like stippling, so you just want to up and down tap your marker onto your bulb, which is what I am doing here. I am going to speed things up so that you can see this whole process. I'm leaving my marker caps there so you can see the colors that I used. And I am doing 6 colors. So I needed 4 of each bulb and 5 of this pink color here. I am remaking a card I already made, so luckily I kind of already knew how many I needed of each color. And now I'm moving on to a red. I'm going to color about 2 bulbs here, and then I'm going to get smart and do something that made this a little bit easier and I should have done from the beginning, which I'm going to put it on the sticky side of a piece of washi tape. And this just kind of gives me an easier way to hold everything, and I can color these way faster. So moving on to my orange, which is a YRO4. I'm sorry, there's a bit of a glare on my marker there. And again, I'm just tapping the ink onto those bulbs. You make sure you don't go back and forth because there is texture to this and you don't want to mess up the tip of your marker. You could probably also use the chisel tip for this technique too if you wanted, because you're just tapping the color onto that sparkle cardstock. And then finally, I have this aqua color, and this is the last color that I'm using for my bulbs. And then I'm putting them all in this tray because now I need to put them on to my strings. So I'm just adding dots of glue to the side of each bulb. I am making sure that I put it on the side that doesn't have that little shine mark on it, because the white of the base die cut is going to show through that, and I don't want it to be full of glue. And then I'm just going in rainbow order. When I move down to the next row, I'm not going to start with the pink again. I'm going to start somewhere else in my order of colors, and that way my bulbs will be nice and shifted. I won't have all the pinks on the left side and all the blues on the right side. I'll get a nice variety of color across my backdrop. So you can see on this third line, I kind of went back to starting with the pink. And then for my last one, I'm going to start with the yellow and kind of shift that rainbow to the left a little bit. And I just think these sparkly bulbs are so pretty. I will add my pattern paper frame to cover up any imperfections on the side. You could also cut these from colored sparkle cardstock as well. Now for my sentiment, I'm using the Scripty Joy and the new Scripty Joy Outline Add-on die. I've cut the outline add-on from that green tone pearlescent vellum and the Scripty Joy from red sparkle cardstock. And you can see that there is an etching line that the die creates that shows you where to line up that Scripty Joy on top of it, so it's lined up perfectly with that outline. And of course, we can't forget the tittle of the J, and here is that beautiful sentiment with that pearlescent vellum behind it. This is going to look great on my card. Now you can glue this directly to your card base, but I wanted some dimension, so I'm using these thin foam strips. I've gone around all 4 sides of my frame. I've also taken those strips and cut them into little pieces and put one on the back of every bulb on my backdrop. And this is going to make my whole backdrop of these strings of lights pop up off that gold foiled pattern paper in the background and give it some really fun dimension. Now for my sentiment, I'm just putting the glue behind the solid piece of cardstock so you don't see any of that glue peeking out underneath that vellum. And I'm just going to glue this directly on all those lights that it touches. And here is my finished card, and I just love the way this card turned out. It was so much fun, and I love how you could customize the colors of your bulbs for your project.
Oh my goodness, Shari, I am obsessed with this card. It's so gorgeous and so sparkly. I just love it so much. And now next up, we are going to be creating with the string of lights backdrop again, of course, and we're going to be creating a cute little scene with it. So here I'm die cutting it from some gorgeous silver glittered cardstock, and that's going to create this beautiful glittery string. And then I'm going to use that extra bulbs add-on, and I'm going to be die cutting both the base and the decorative light. And so for the base, I'm going to use some white cardstock, and then for the decorative ones, in just a little bit, I'm going to use lots of colors of textured cardstock. Now, one of the cool things that a lot of people from the design team did is they would just snip out one of the strings. By doing this, it gives you either a place for a bold sentiment, which is really fun, or it gives you a place to add a cute little character. You can also use these little string of lights on their own too, which is really great. So I'm going to save that little piece there. So now that I've removed one of my string of lights to give a little space for my cute stamped character, or like I said, it could be a great place to put a sentiment too, I'm going to start layering on these plain white bulbs because I wanted that little white shine mark to be shining through these little bulbs. And right now I am recreating a version of a card by Tammy, so thank you so much, Tammy. And so I'm just adding liquid glue to the bulbs and then just layering the little white bulbs over top. There's something kind of relaxing. I like this kind of repetitive crafting like this. It just kind of gets my mind relaxed, kind of puts me in this like Zen crafting mode. I don't know if you guys feel the same way too. And next, I'm going to bring in a bunch of colors of cardstock, and I'm going to die cut it with the extra bulbs die that has that little detail in it. And so I went ahead and die cut a bunch of these different colors of cardstock, and these are the textured cardstocks. They have a bunch of different shades of colors that are so pretty, so I found the perfect ones for this card. And now all I need to do is just add a little bit of glue on the back of each bulb, and then I can layer it right over that white bulb that I already layered onto my string of lights, and that's going to fill in that little shine. Now here I'm taking care to kind of place my colors around randomly so I don't end up with a bunch of red or pink clustered in one area. So I'm just kind of playing around with it, and you can see as we add the colorful bulbs, it just really makes this whole card come to life in such a gorgeous way. For the base, I'm going to use some blue jay cardstock so that it has kind of a cool night theme. And then for the frame around it, I'm going to use some white cardstock. And our largest stitched rectangle frame die always coordinates with all of our backdrop dies. So I love that it's an easy way to add color to the frame, whether it's with white cardstock or pattern paper or whatever is in your imagination. So I added some liquid glue on the back of the frame, and then I can layer that over top, and now I have a white frame, beautiful silver strings, and then colorful lights. And you can see with the blue cardstock behind it, it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to be bringing a snowman into this card, so I need a little snowy hill for him to stand on. So I have a piece of white cardstock here, and I'm going to die cut that with a stitched hillside border. And you'll see now we've got that beautiful snow. And I just wanted it to pop from the frame a little bit. So I'm going to take a light turquoise marker, and I'm just going to line it right along on the bottom and then kind of blend it out with a colorless blender so that the top of the snow has a little bit of an extra glow. Then I can take some tape runner and add that to the hill and layer that on to that beautiful blue jay cardstock. Then all I need to do is just take my glue tube here and add some liquid glue all of the way around the frame. I'm not going to layer any behind the lights. The frame is going to hold it all in place, and by having the lights not glued down, I'm going to be able to tuck things behind them and around them, which is going to be really fun for this design. So here is my Frosty family stamp set. I love this stamp set so much, and I went ahead and stamped the scarf and the hat and the arms for this cute little snowman. I love building these snowmen. It is just so much fun. And so I can add that little scarf on there, and then of course the top hat, which is just adorable. And I always like to put the top hat just tilted off to the side just a little bit. And then I'm going to add some foam squares behind his hat and head, but not on the rest of his body because I want him flat underneath those lights, but I want him popped just a little bit. So it's kind of a cute look, like he's kind of popping out of the card just on the top of him. So I'm layering that right into the center, and now I'm going to layer those arms in so it looks like they're holding the string of lights. So I added some adhesive behind the arms, and then I'm just kind of layering them onto his body, and now it looks like he's holding that cute little string, which I just think is just adorable. The stamp set has this cute little flower, so I went ahead and added the little flower onto the hat, and I made it red to bring in those beautiful pops of red from the lights. This is a stitched wavy banner, and I thought it would be a cute way to bring in the sentiment so that those lights could kind of be all around it. And I'm going to stamp in some blue jay ink to match the cardstock. And here I'm taking out Henry's Build a Sentiment Winter. I love this stamp set because it has all of these wintry phrases that you can mix and match for the perfect sentiment. And so I am kind of looking around saying, what's going to be good here? So I'm going to use merry and bright. And there's an ampersand, and there's also the word and, depending on the look you're going for, but I thought the ampersand would be really pretty for this. So all of these phrases in the Henry's Build a Sentiment have the same size rectangular bases, so you can just line them up right against each other and then pick it up with your block. Now, this die has a little bit of a curve, so I'm just curving my sentiment onto the block to match. I kind of lined it up and I realized, I got to curve that Mary just a little bit more. So I just curved that right up on the block. I love clear stamps for this because I can just curve them really easily. And then I can ink it up in that blue jay ink and then stamp that onto that stitched wavy banner. And you'll see just how cute this is. I just love the font and the Henry's. I think it's just so beautiful. So here I'm just layering that banner in just to see kind of where it's going to look cute. And once I kind of found a good placement for it, I just took my scissors and just trimmed off any of the excess. That way I can just tuck it right into that frame. If I had thought of it before, I would have probably put this on before I added the frame, but that's okay. I did it now and it worked out just fine. So here you can see I'm kind of playing around. I'm going to cover up one of the lights, but then some of the other ones are going to be kind of leaning over the sign just like that. And look how cute that is. It just looks beautiful. I love that kind of wavy banner and all the lights surrounding it. Now here I have a standard size card base that's 5.5 by 4.25. I'm going to add some adhesive to that, and then I can layer this whole panel up on top. Now I wanted to add some snow in the background, and here I wanted to show you my son's super happy fun mix. So he got into all of my sequins and things and mixed them all together in what is a very delightful little mix. So I went through there and found some snowflakes. So you could just look for your stash, you could look for some sequins, so you could die cut some little snowflakes. I just kind of looked for my cute little stash and found these little snowflakes there. And so I'm going to add a liquid glue drop and then add these cute little three-dimensional snowflakes onto the card. Then once I have my snowflakes on there, I'm also going to be using some Nuvo drops to add some more kind of snowy background. Another thing you could do would be to maybe splatter some snow on the background before you built the whole scene too. That would be really cute. I'm also, as you can see here, adding some white gel pen marks just to add a little bit of extra detail onto my snowman, and I feel like that really brings in the white frame and the white sentiment too. Now, as I add these Nuvo drops, you can see I pick up the card and I'm just lightly tapping the back so that those little circles kind of flatten out and make perfect little circles instead of looking like Hershey's Kisses, if that makes sense. I just pick up, tap the back, and those little tiny taps are enough to flatten out those little circles to be the perfect shape. So I'm going to add a bunch and then just tap right behind them. Now, I wanted some more sparkles here, so once again, I'm channeling my inner Shari. I'm taking out my stickles, and I'm just going to add sparkles to the top of this snow line. That way, there's some sparkles in that part of the card too, since we have such beautiful sparkles on the string of lights. And now this card is all done. It is so super cute and so much fun. I had so much fun creating with that string of lights to create the most perfect background for a super cute scene. Now, next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team, and this one by Yanea is so stunning. She die cut the bulbs out of pattern paper from the Candy Cane Lane collection, and I think that looks so beautiful. I can't wait to try something just like this. Here, this card is so much fun, and the sentiment, "May your Christmas be lit," just cracks me up. It's so perfect for these beautiful string of lights. This card here by Elise is so sweet, and she also die cut pattern papers for her bulbs. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I also love all her little sequin stars that she added using the sequin mix dies. Audrey used some little ink blending to add a glow behind each of her light bulbs, and I am just in love with this. I think it's so pretty. This is such a perfect die for shaker cards, and this shaker card by Mindy is absolutely adorable. I love all the shaker pieces she has inside, and she die cut those using our brand new sequin mix die too. Maureen shows us that this string of lights is perfect for Halloween too. Isn't this so cute? I love her spiderweb in the background and all the colors she chose. It is just adorable. Here's the card that inspired me to make mine today by Tammy. I love that she used the Build a Snowman die cuts. It is just adorable how she added her sentiment too. And Letitia shows us that this die is perfect for Hanukkah as well, and this card is just so stunning. I love the gold and the silver together. It's just so beautiful. And then here, this card by Megan is so sweet. I love her plaid paper in the background and her bold sentiment over top these string of lights. So we cannot wait to see all of your string of light cards, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and we hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!